grew up, mate. Revenge is not a pretty thing, brother.
I'm gonna render you useless.
Oh, brother, you can try. Mate, everyone knows where Western Sydney is. You go out to Mount Druitt and you see the talent that's out there. From where I grew up, I shouldn't be under the bright lights, but I'm here because I've earned my spot to be in this chair right now. I've been preparing my whole life just to be here. Your little few months of preparation, it's in comparison, bro.
We're boxers. We don't come from, silver spoon families. Everyone's got their own story. I've been through it all. I've grown through it all. 12 years outside the ring taught me a whole lot about life, and I've done a whole lot of shit. Every time I walk into that ring, I take it all in there with me.
Liam. What's up, fight fans? Welcome to my channel. This is Johnny, and in today's video, we're going to be going over the statistics that nobody talks about when mentioning the heavyweight fight on the undercard of Tim Tszyu versus Joey Spencer this weekend in Newcastle, Australia, between Brandon Grach and the southpaw from Western Sydney, Liam Talivaa. Guys, before I continue, I want to say thank you to all the new subscribers. Thank you to everybody who's been with me since day one. If you haven't already, could you please hit the subscribe button? Also, like this video and be sure to go down to the bottom of your screen right now and hit the bell notification button so you can be notified every time I put something out that's new. Thank you. All right, guys, it's not every day that I feature a fight between two fighters with a combined 10 total fights. But this matchup is super exciting, and you guys follow me long enough that I use my channel to not only tell the story of the big international fights, but to tell the story of boxers. And this matchup has a very intriguing story connected within it. So we're gonna go over each fighter's resume, albeit short. Both guys only have a few pro fights, only have a few pro rounds, but this is a rematch between Newcastle's own Brandon Grach. He won the first fight. We have to remember this card is taking place in Newcastle, so he's going to be the hometown boy. And Western Sydney banger southpaw Liam Talivaa. Now, the first fight was heralded as one of the fights of the year, round of the year contender. It only went to the second round, and the fight was over within the first 10 seconds of the second round. So I'm going to have that whole fight. Actually, just go to the description and you'll see it. Due to copyright law, I can't play all the footage from the fight, but we'll go over some of that today. We're gonna go over both guys' resumes. Also, Las Vegas is letting us bet on this fight, so stay tuned to the end of the video and I will give you my prediction. Firstly, I wanna give a shout out to Glenn Jennings. He's the guy behind Team Tszyu, the management. He's been managing all the Tszyu since Costa and Nikita. He also is Brandon Grach's manager, and I wanna give a special shout to Liam as well. This is why I'm featuring this fight. I used to do work with some of the fighters out of Liam's old gym, Bondi Boxing Club, when he was coached by Tony Del Vecchio, and that's where I first personally met Liam. It was right after the pandemic. He either was about to turn pro or just had his first few pro fights, and I'm walking around documenting and managing another fighter, and I saw him training, getting his hands wrapped, and I sat down and interviewed him. So that interview is actually on the channel. It's a couple years old now, and I remember thinking to myself when I saw Liam getting his hands wrapped, and then I asked him if he had a couple minutes, talking to him, so nice, such a humble guy, very likable. And I remember thinking to myself, and this is more often than not, guys, if you've never been around fighters, if you've never been to a fight gym, fighters are the most humble guys you'll ever meet, especially if they trained long enough to know what it's like to go into sparring. And the reason why the humility is there, because in sparring, this is where we get beat up. You get beat up, you take your shots, and you learn how to carry yourself like a true warrior. So every man who steps into the ring and every woman knows what it's like to be humbled. And this is why if you ever cross paths with any fighter, they're usually really nice people. And Liam was exactly that. He gets his hands wrapped, puts his gloves on, starts hitting the pads. Tony's holding the pads, and I just start hearing snap, pop, pop, and I'm like, damn, everybody in the gym stopped what they were doing and you just watch Liam hit the pads. And I was like, who is this guy? He's one half of this matchup, and my dad always said, bet with your wallet, not with your heart. So stay tuned, I'll tell you where I'm going with. But the first fight was fireworks. Liam came out brawling. The first 10 seconds, it looked like they were rock'em sock'em robots. It was almost kind of like they made a decision in the locker room to say, hey, look, let's try to knock each other out. Let's not go the distance. It was only a 6-round fight. In that first round, within a span of 30 seconds, Liam catches Brandon Grach and clips him. They're swinging, banging. Liam catches him with a beautiful shot. Grach goes down. That shot would have knocked anybody out cold. Grach is a big boy, overcomes it, and shows his resiliency. I think even Liam was surprised that Grach stood up. I guarantee Liam's never caught somebody with that shot and they got up from it. Anyway, Grach gets up from it. Within 10 to 15 seconds later, at the end of that first round, Grach catches Liam and drops Talivaa. These guys are banging. The round comes to an end, and the whole place was on its feet. Sean Porter was there commentating. Ben Damon was commentating, one of Australia's guys who does all these fights. In the first 10 seconds of the very next round, no feeling out process, they start brawling, and Talivaa gets caught with a shot and gets knocked out cold. Grach was instantly put on the Australian heavyweight landscape. This is a guy that had a stellar amateur career, and then he disappears from the sport for 10 or more years and then just shows up, and that's where we are today. 32 years old with 3 pro fights. So right now, let's take a closer look at that short pro career of Grach. Brandon Grach is 3-0 with 2 knockouts out of 1,553 heavyweights. He's ranked 119 in the world, and out of 69 in Australia, he's number 7. He has a career 67% knockout to win ratio and has fought a career pro 9 rounds. His adoring fans call him the Bull, and the 32-year-old Australian is a 6'4" orthodox fighter residing in Newcastle, New South Wales. He last fought Mela, 6-0, knockout in the 3rd. Talivaa, 5-0, knocked out in the 2nd. Linde, 1-0, majority decision in the 4th. So it's no secret, guys. We know what both gentlemen are going to go in there to do. Talivaa is a different team from the first fight, and Grach is with the same old team. So I'm going to be interested to see the game planning, if it's business as usual, they tap gloves and just go right at it, or if because both guys have been knocked down, there's going to be a bit of a feeling out process, and a couple years have passed, the stakes are as high as ever. They get another feature on a huge Tim Tszyu card, so I'm interested to see how this is going to play out. Let's take a closer look at Talivaa. Guys, Liam is 6-1 with 2 knockouts. Out of 1,553 heavyweights in the world, he's ranked 234, and out of 69 in Australia, he's 14th. He has 7 career pro rounds. He has a 33% career knockout to win ratio. The Australian's a southpaw, standing at 6'1" with a 72-inch reach. We last saw the 30-year-old fight last July against Linde, 4-1, won a UD. The Grach fight the first time was in November of 2023. That's when he had his only loss, knocked out in the 2nd. Licky, knocked out in the 1st. Secco, majority decision in the 4th. Marsters, he won a UD in the 4th. So this fight takes place on the undercard. Like I said, if you Americans have any way of watching this card, tune into this fight. I can't say it enough. Watch the highlights from the first fight. There is bad blood with this matchup. Both guys sat down to do interviews this week, and nothing has changed. You know that Grach wants to get it back and show the world that it wasn't just a flash in the pan, and Talivaa wants to definitely get his get back and put the Aussie heavyweight boxing community on notice.
Revenge is not a pretty thing, brother.
I'm gonna render you useless.
Oh, brother, you can try. Mate, everyone knows where Western Sydney is. You go out to Mount Druitt and you see the talent that's out there. From where I grew up, I shouldn't be under the bright lights, but I'm here because I've earned my spot to be in this chair right now. I'm preparing my whole life just to be here. Your little few months of preparation, it's in comparison, bro.
We're boxers. We don't come from, silver spoon families. Everyone's got their own story. I've been through it all. I've grown through it all. 12 years outside the ring taught me a whole lot about life, and I've done a whole lot of shit. Every time I walk into that ring, I take it all in there with me.
Guys, Las Vegas is letting us bet on this. So the app that I use is called Sportsbet. Let's take a look at those odds. All right, it's letting us do the money line. So right now, if you put $100 on Brandon, he's a $1.43 favorite. So 100 gets you 43 back. 17-1 is usually pretty standard on boxing with the draw. Talivaa, 3-1 underdog. So $100 would get you 300 in return. Now, this is a fight that has history, that has bad blood. Brandon Grach is the victor. He was going into the first fight as an underdog, I should also mention. Because of the way that ended, he's the favorite here. I'm going to put this fight on a parlay. Now, when I put all my bets, like I always do, go to the community section and you'll see it there. I'm gonna go against my dad's advice here, and this is a fun fight to document, and this is gonna be a fun fight to watch. I'm putting my money on a parlay for God's son, Liam Talivaa, to get his redemption, to go in there, to go in Newcastle. He's going to be hearing all the boos. I think the Southpaw is going to be ready for redemption, and I think maybe we might be able to set up to see an Australian trilogy. Guys only have 10 total fights, and this is the beautiful part of the sport of boxing, because every now and then you get moments like this, guys on the come up who get to create their own legacy. In the comment section below, let me know what you think about this fight. Let me know who's gonna win. Will we see Brandon Grach going 2-0 against Talivaa, or will it be a 1-1 during the grudge match? Also, if you haven't seen my breakdown, analysis, and prediction of the main event happening in Las Vegas, the top rank card between the heavyweights, Kiki Torres Jr. taking on the Italian, the big Guido Vianello, stay tuned to the channel because that's coming up right now.